Well, let's see. Well, this is it. Let's see what he brings to the table. And look, as I said, if they're 30 and 15, it's going to be a lot of fun. If they're 22 and 37, it's not going to be a lot of fun. He talks about playing with fire and, within, the strength and blah, 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 and all these words. What does that mean? Give me the last team that played like that. You want to go back to the 34 Gas House Gang, who didn't wash their uniforms, and they slid into third base, as Dizzy Dean would say. So look, it's fun. Who are his coaches and who are his players? And this whole Drew Gilbert thing, come on. He hasn't done anything yet. He stinks. No. He can't do anything. He can run around. He can bite your shoulder. He can jump over the rail. You want 25 guys? Is that where we're going? So I say this, look, if he's enthusiastic, there have been great college coaches. This has never happened before. If he's enthusiastic, wonderful. If he stresses fundamentals, terrific. If Devers is 5 for 45 and he gets in his face, tells him to start hustling or, hey, get out here for more batting practice and all that, and Devers looks at him, it'll be something else. So who knows? Right. But I will tell you this, the Giants will be a story.
Yes.
They will be a story. So look, if Buster wants to do this and they want to pay him, more power to them. The key is going to be who his bench coach will be, who his other coaches will be, and who the closer will be, and who the new outfielder is going to be, and who's going to play second base, and all that kind of stuff. And that'll tell the tale of Tony Vitello, of who he is. But hey, the Giants will be a story, and they need much more than him. Mm-hmm. He's just beginning. All right, so they got him instead of Brandon Hyde or instead of Nick Hundley or somebody else. Big deal. If he wants to take a picture sliding into all the players after they win a series and he wants to slide on a slippery slope, let him do it. I don't care if he wants to jump in the stands and hug, Greg Johnson, let him do it. But I want to see him manage a game. And I want to see him do the things we're talking about when it comes to you better win the game right now in the major leagues in the 5th inning or in the 6th inning and have to make the decision. Do I bring in Randy Rodriguez in the 6th inning or do I leave him until the 8th inning?
Right.
And when do I go to him? And we'll see who he is. So it's fun. It's baseball. It gives us something to talk about. It's the Giants. And they have a manager, and let's see what he does, So what can I say?
There you go.
I picked him, but in 150 years of baseball, it's never happened before. Maybe this is, as Glenn says, the beginning of a new world for us.
Yeah, and it's funny because this has never been, you touched on it, it's never been done in the history of baseball where they've hired a college manager who has no MLB experience whatsoever to come and manage a big club. And look, there's
a manager. Do they call him or do they still call him a coach?
I don't even honestly that
coach. That they should call him coach to make him feel at home.
There you go. And it's funny because it's a couple of things here. There's a lot of successful managers in the college ranks. And none of them ever made the transition. I don't know what makes this one different than any of the others. And here's the thing, right? He's going to have to learn how to manage men now because he's been managing kids, right? 18 to 22-year-olds is kind of like the wheelhouse of his experience in managing. We could say men. I mean, they're 18 years old, so young men. Now he's going to have to go out there and have to manage a major league clubhouse. That's going to, and I think you alluded to it, Marty. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to give us plenty of fodder to talk about.
Yeah. Every big decision, we have it every night.
Yes,
you guys, Glenn, you guys talk about it every single night. Handling the bullpen, making that pinch hitting change. Should the guy have scored? And all this stuff, I mean, it's fascinating. It's not 30 or 40 games. It's 162 games
Correct.
of
Yes.
second guessing every single night. So
Yes.
it's gonna be fun. Someone said he should go down the Coca-Cola slide. All right.
Where did I miss that? I gotta find it.
Bernie Brewer, they'll put him in the slide. Let him go down. But seriously, it's running a major league game. I have enough trouble running a Stratomatic game, let alone a major league game. Honestly, if you play Stratomatic, you know what it is. Gee, should I put in a lefty to face a lefty or right? Stratomatic is the best way to tell if you can handle a major league game.
and Lou, we haven't heard Lou. Glenn, I'll get to you here in a minute. Lou, we haven't heard your observations and your thoughts about Tony Vitello.
Well, it's in two parts. One is we have a guy now that's a cheerleader, which is fine, but you got to remember he's coming from the SEC where he had NIL money. He could pick who's playing, and basically it was his rule or the highway. Sorry, that's how it was in college. And they're called head coaches, not managers in college, just so we can be on the same page. It's a big difference. I actually called I'm pretty good friends with Chip Hale, who actually was an assistant coach with Philly, and now he's back at U of A and everything. And he's glad he got out because with the NIL, yeah, there's a lot of pressure. You have boosters. But Glenn brought this up the other night. The college season is literally 60 games. The major leagues is 162. I think this guy might be great for the first 6 weeks, sort of like how the Giants were this year. Everything was going good. But how is he going to be in the dog days of summer? How is he going to be where he's dealing with a lot of egos? Where before it was his word, but now, you get guys that are making $30 million. This guy's never done it before. Are they going to look down on him? Second of all, one of the things me, Eric, and Glenn have spoken about, I hope he understands Spanish because I thought one of the biggest problems with Melvin is those guys didn't respect him, right? Where in our seats, you would see the main players were speaking Spanish the whole time on the left side. Melvin was by himself on the right side. Now you got a very young guy who a lot of times might be only 10, 15 years older than some of these guys. He's going to have to get respect. And again, long season where maybe he was on the top of the road, where he was from. Now he's with the Giants. He's not going to be the best team. He's probably going to be maybe the third or fourth best team in the NL West, not overall in the National League. And you're going from being the king to now being somebody. Yeah, it's the San Francisco Giants. It's a great opportunity. But until he does it, I think Marty brings up a good point. It's going to be very, very tough. I think Buster basically said, what am I going to do? I'm glad he at least did something. I was sort of disappointed to know that this guy was from Salinas at one time. I'm glad at least he went outside of the Giants box because it hasn't been working for the last 10 years, but I think it's exciting now, but this guy's not selling tickets. Do you think maybe, oh my God, we got Tony, the Giants sold another 1,000 season tickets? No. And this is part two. It all depends what happens with the Giants free agent class. They got to spend the money because if all we hear about is we got a new manager and, we talked about it, Drew Gilbert's still our starting right fielder, then I think Buster's going to be known as a horrible president of operations. He was a great player, but boy, he fell on his face when it came to major decisions because he's doing something that nobody else has done. And if you remember, a lot of his decisions, let's take Devers' trade out of there, where really it was about the contract. He was the one that said, no, we got to keep our third baseman. Let's give him a no-sign clause. Let's sign him for 6 years. He's the one that got Adames. I know he was a Willie Mack award, but my God, I want a guy that at least can almost hit his weight, 230. He's also, we got a problem on our team where we got so many more holes to bring somebody new in. It's going to be a long learning adjustment. And I just hope, I want the Giants to be over 500. Rah goes good for the first 6 weeks. That's fine, but it's got to work for 6 months. And I think it's a major key. I think it's a major thing out there that we just don't know. And I'm going to give him the chance, but I don't want this to be next year at this time. oh, we gave Buster a year. Let's give him another year. Well, we got to give Tony another year. He's never done it. We keep coming up with the same excuse every year. You know, I want Buster to do what he said. The fans deserve a team in the playoffs. Okay, well, here's your opportunity. You got a manager and you got a free agent that's going to be now your number 2 class. Show me, Buster. If not, then you know what? Buster should step down and get somebody that can. Being a season ticket holder, I want results. You know, 1 year you get a mulligan, no more.
And to your point, Lou, real quick, as a San Francisco Giants fan, over the last few years, it's kind of been in flux between new managers, new Pobos, middling playoff or middling baseball play. You're sitting right around 500 most of the time. So we want to see something there. When are we gonna get over the hump, so to speak, and start getting into some winning baseball? Now, Glenn, it's been a while since we talked about Tony Vitello. Have you changed at all, or are you kind of feeling the same way?
The only problem with today's show, Eric, when you bring the illustrious Marty Lurie and you bring Mr. Sexy, Mr. Salty, Lou, into the show, I could throw out all my notes. I mean, they already talked about everything I wanted to say. So I got to tell you, Eric, what they have said, I kind of got to echo it. This is a guy who's not going to be – he's coaching. That's a key word. At college level, he's coaching. And I know our chat, we talked about it the other day. You and I did the breaking news story. Eric went on for a couple of hours talking about the big announcement. And I couldn't believe it. Am I the only guy who doesn't watch college baseball faithfully every night on the TV? Because everybody was like, they know everything about him. I mean, he was Lou, can I steal your term? He was this week. He was the flavor of the week. Once his name's out there in the Bay Area stuff grows legs. So everybody, Vitello's the best. Why? Oh, he's just the best. Well, he's not coaching anymore. He's managing a game, Eric. At college, he's coaching and developing. And when I sit and see some of the guys in the chat and around, around town talking about the move and saying that, he's going to be good for the development, our draft. And they're upstairs doing that. That's not his job. He's there to manage the team. Pull the right strings, hopefully he is allowed to set the lineup. I mean, I don't want any more of this. I don't know who's setting the lineup. I don't want a conspiracy theorist or anything, but let's see if he can manage the team, make the right bullpen moves, as Marty Lurie said earlier. And I think that's it in a nutshell. I mean, another thing, Eric, that we brought up the other day, and I've seen it talked about, and people kind of just, hey, he's got to surround himself with, major league caliber coaches. So my question is, Buster Posey, why didn't you hire a major league caliber manager and put guys like Vitello underneath to groom? You're not developing your manager that way. Well, why would you surround it? I thought you're supposed to put the best guy in the position. Why do you have to surround him with, long-term veteran managers? I don't get it, Eric, and coaches. I don't get it. It's either going to work or it ain't going to work.
It seems to be the consensus. The consensus is it's going to be great or it's going to be a dumpster fire.
It's going to take more than a year to figure this out.
He's got to have the horses, too. You can only best managers have the horses.
That's why I say, who's the closer? You tell me who the closer is. I'll tell you if you got a good manager or not. You give me a good bullpen, I'll tell you. Tony La Russa said it. You show me a horse crap bullpen, and I'll show you a horse bad manager. And then La Russa said this, and it's been true the whole time. Show me, as you said, show me what he's got.